Oh, oh, hello. I didn't see you there. I was just doing my biodensity osteogenic loading workout. As long as you're here, why don't I give you some pointers? Now, the most important thing we're going to go over today, this is something a lot of you guys are struggling with, is the shoulder placement, okay? That's going to be dependent on this retraction here, where we're squeezing the scapula together, maintaining that, and resisting the urge to push the shoulders forward. The big picture is this: the largest muscle group in your upper body is your chest, but a lot of you are in the habit of just using your arms and your shoulders, and you're not really feeling the connection to the chest, and you're not really using the chest in concert with the shoulders and arms, and so you're not getting the best force production you can get. So we're going to work on a couple of those things, but let's just go over the basic setup for the chest, okay? The hips want to be all the way back, shoulder blades want to be back, hands are up about shoulder height. If you don't have any issues with your rotator cuff, you have a nice, essentially 180 degree plane here with the elbows flared. You want to start with as flat a wrist as you can. I prefer the thumb next to the forefinger. Here's a little tip for you guys. If you have trouble with the wrist, squeezing there, see how that muscle pops out? Squeezing the thumb to the forefinger will stiffen that wrist significantly, and even gripping the bar as hard as you can will stiffen up that joint, which will put some space into it before you put all this pressure on it, okay? So, let's set those shoulders up. First of all, when you're retracting your shoulder blades, it's easier if you can feel them move, okay? And if you already have the pressure of having your back on the backrest, it's harder to feel them moving just because there's some resistance. So, rock forward from your waist, lever forward from your hips rather, and you're gonna pull your shoulder blades back together, okay? Notice that I'm not overarching the spine. The spine should be relatively neutral, but we want to open up the chest and pull the shoulder blades together. If you can't feel that movement even when you've sat forward, you want to exaggerate in the other direction so you can feel the opposite movement, the protraction of the shoulder blades. So protract your shoulder blades, and now you know you can go backwards with them, pull them back, and just keep pulling them back farther than you're used to normally, and then you set back and you should feel those shoulder blades hitting right there. That's your foundation, okay? We're pushing forward, okay? A lot of you, when you get to the end, you want to find somewhere else to push forward with. Your shoulders get very helpful, and they go, we can still go forward. No good. You want to keep, then you're losing your foundation, okay? Which makes you less stable, makes you less powerful. Also, when you take your shoulder out of this larger architecture, you're exposing it to injury right here. So you're losing power, you're exposing yourself to injury, no good. You want to keep those shoulders back. The other mistake people make is when they pull back, they come up. We want those traps relaxed, shoulders straight back, okay? A lot of times when we're pushing, another way we can straighten our arms is by bringing our shoulders up. Look, my arms went straight, but I didn't put any more pressure on that bar. So from the beginning, open, back, and down with the shoulders. They never move again. Nice little flare in the elbows, thumb and forefinger together, squeezing the bar, good connection. And you want to focus on, when you do your test, focus on the connection between this spot right here and this spot right here. When you feel that connection on the test, you're ready to go. Then you're going to take a big breath and push on the exhale, okay? Now, let's go to the mat, and then we're going to go to the wall to do a regression of what we're going to do on the mat to work on an exercise that's going to help us get that scapular retraction and access those pecs. Here we go. This one, I want to start you out in a position where you're not under any pressure, where you can really feel out the movement of the scapula without having to work too hard, okay? Then I'm going to show you a few different versions of how to add in the work, and we're going to regress from the most challenging to the least challenging. Remember guys, you can only work from where you are. There's literally no other option. If you try to go farther, get ahead of yourself, you're going to waste time and you could hurt yourself. So don't be afraid to use whichever one of these regressions is most comfortable for you, okay? So we're just going to start out at the bottom position of a knee push-up, okay? Now, a lot of you, when you do your push-ups, you like to have your hands out in front of your shoulders because you're not using your chest. You're getting your shoulders involved, the elbows are coming forward, you're doing a shoulder up, or you're just letting your back arch and you're peeling up off the ground, okay? We don't want to do that. When you push up, you want to have a nice flat back, tuck the pelvis in, brace the core, and you're keeping that nice neutral spine up and down, okay? But for this, to start, I just want you in this down position. Bring your hands right next to or below your shoulders. I would bring them below your shoulders so that your fingertips are more or less lined up with your shoulders. And then notice that your shoulder can be and your elbows can be in a lot of different places. I want you to take those shoulders and pull them back together. Imagine that you're pinching a finger right in between your shoulder blades. And as you're pulling the shoulder blades back together, the elbows also want to come in. There you go. Pull them right back together. And when you really squeeze there, if you give a little push through your hands, you should immediately feel your pecs engaging here. They're in a very stretched position here. Don't try to push up off the ground yet. Just feel that. And then I want you to have the intention of clapping your hands together, like you could push down through the concrete or the wood or whatever surface it is and clap your hands together. So just from the start, we're going to get here, just lying flat, pelvis tucked, nice tight core, everything tight, and then we're going to bring those shoulder blades back together. There we go. Get the elbows in, and then squeeze, pretend we're clapping. You don't need to go anywhere, just pretend we're clapping, and you should feel your chest engage. Now, if you can, push up in that way. And if you can do that, if you really want to just zap your chest with very little weight on it, get in that position, get nice and tight, push up and hold it right off the ground. Keep thinking clapping, and it shouldn't take long at all to exhaust you, okay? That's probably going to be too hard for most of you. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to start from the top position. Same thing, flatten that torso out, tuck the hips, and we're just going to take that feeling of folding the shoulder blades back together and having the elbows come back behind you, and we're going to come down about halfway and then clap our way up. We're clapping through the floor. Nice and slow. And you should feel that right in your chest. If that's too difficult, you can do it a quarter way. And you can even hold it there. And if you start to feel it in your elbow or somewhere else, focus on your chest. Focus on that clap. Bring the elbows in tight and keep the shoulder blades together. Yeah, a static hold at 3/4 of the way down, 1/4 of the way down, or even less. If you're focusing on squeezing the chest, you're going to start to learn to lead with that muscle group. Now, you have to feel it before you can prioritize it. So this is what it's about. Wherever you can work in this regression to feel this muscle working, you can feel the other muscles working, but I want you to feel it here mainly. When that happens, you're ready to make your chest the leader in your upper body. Let's go to the wall. Okay, same thing, guys. You're gonna wanna start here, and you're gonna go like that, and you're gonna feel it in your shoulders. Down here. Make sure you're below your shoulders, okay? You still wanna keep that nice, tight core with your pelvis tilted forward. And then you're just gonna fold like someone's pushing a wedge in between your shoulder blades and you're just folding it. I think of a butterfly flapping its wings, okay? That's the image you want, okay? So the elbows are coming back together behind you. You're coming straight down. And if you tilt your chin up, you can almost touch your chest. And from there, you're clapping through the wall. You don't need to go anywhere. You can just stay there. Or you can do little movements down here. This part of the regression is good because you can get in a very stretched place and do some reps. It's harder closer to the floor. You really have to generate a little more energy. But whatever it is, if you need to work in this range of motion, or maybe not all the way down, but here, just keep folding those shoulder blades together and then squeezing like you're clapping. And you should feel a nice burn here. Once you feel that, when you get back on the BioDensity machine and you get the shoulder blades back together, you're ready to initiate from your chest. Once you do that and you get under pressure, your arms are gonna know what to do. You don't have to retrain them. You gotta get your chest activated, and that's gonna get you your best results on the chest press. That's it. Hi guys, thanks for watching. This is our second instructional video from Better Bones. The geese have a special request. Please remember, and they chimed in right on cue. Please remember to like and subscribe and share the videos. Someone made a great suggestion, which is don't make it private. No one knows who you are. So they're not private anymore. Share them with everybody, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.